Jersey Judah Red Pill Party podcast. And guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It's another week, another Monday. It's actually Monday the 24th. My phone is fucked up. I'm assuming it's the 24th. But we're back, man. This is, because it's Monday, it is the start to the week. And I kind of have this little program going on within my days. Today is Manosphere Monday. Manosphere Monday, the war within. Once again, today is Monday, or should I say tonight, it's 7:27 for me in the PM. It is Manosphere Monday, the war within. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, what are you talking about? Well, if I'm talking about the Manosphere, the war within is pretty much, of course, the obvious. Content creators bickering back and forth about one another. And let's face it, at times it can be very entertaining. I'm not the first person, but I will not be the first person, or I'm not the last person to mention the fresh and fit fuckery. Now, I can understand why other people will look at fresh and fit as frauds. I can understand that. But to be perfectly fair and perfectly honest, a lot of these guys still have decent information, and they also make very valid points. But pointing out the fuckery, I'm a guy who's about free speech, right? So with free speech comes hate speech. It comes a lot of things. People that don't like, people claim to be about free speech until they hear something that offends them. Once that offends them, then it's all about canceling this, canceling that. As men, we shouldn't be wanting to cancel any man, even if he's saying something that is completely disagreeable. I think that's one of the things about being a man, about being an individual, is having your own opinions and coming to the understanding that not everybody is going to understand the message that you have. This is something very difficult that I still have to deal with. I push out a lot of episodes. I put in a lot of time, a lot of consideration, and a lot of care. Some days more than other days are more productive. I think today will just be an even flow. We have a couple of videos to go through, but none of the videos have anything to do with the topic, although it is from technically the Manosphere, so there you have it. But going into these topics today, or going into this topic of, or really the title of the war within. It's the war within yourself, seeking red pill awareness, and it's the war within the Manosphere. Within that, had to light my cigarette. We do have some subtopics, if you will. No one's going to love you more than yourself. Okay? We're going to talk about that and what that means to a man. Now, to a woman, that's something that's entirely different, and we'll get to that later on. Never put yourself in an echo chamber. I want to give a shout out to Hammerhand. Once again, Hammerhand, the MGTOW monk. Salute. Great content. I was listening to a couple of live streams, and it's really just about the balance. And he mentioned this, where you kind of have to be willing to listen to anybody or multiple different views within the Manosphere. And that's the thing. In a lot of ways, the beauty of the Manosphere is not everybody is just one-track minded. Even within the red pill information, there's a lot of guys who are on the side of PUAs. Now, do I support it? No, but I don't really have anything against it. I just find it to be illogical to teach simps how to further pedestalize women in hopes of sleeping with them. Me, myself, Jersey Judah, I talk about self-development a lot, because the development to get the results you want starts from within. You can't change anything on the outside if you're 40 pounds overweight. It's time to get active. It's time to get exercise. It's time to think about the future instead of just looking for pleasures for the particular moment. That's something that a lot of women do. The modern day females, well, They living their best life. It ain't going back and forth with you niggas. We all know how that goes. We're also going to talk about the market of exploitation within the Red Pill, within Manosphere, within MGTOW, within a lot of these male groups. There will always be one to as much as 10 plus people who are willing to exploit the weak-minded men who come to these guys for information and knowledge, and everything for these guys come at a price. It's time for us to really point this shit out. We're going to get into a little bit of a racial discussion that I like to point out. The black community is the matriarchal headquarter. The black community is the matriarchal headquarter. And if you're wondering what the fuck matriarchy means, matriarchy is a woman who is the head of a family or tribe. Emphasis on tribe. We're going to read an example. In some cultures, the mother precedes the status of a matriarch. Also, an older woman who is powerful within the family or organization. All right, so we're going to talk about that. Also, women and men are better together, but men can benefit more alone today. And we're going to talk about why in a little bit. The welfare system divided race and family within gender at the same time, but it was easier to divide through gender than race. We're going to get into all those things. You know what I'm saying? So, really, I am excited in a lot of ways to be on here. Today has been a very, typical day. I didn't do a lot of rushing. I took my time. I think I only slept like maybe 5 hours last night. I don't know what the fuck it was. Maybe I had the heat on too high, but, it's something about the cold weather that, you want to just get under a blanket. You don't want to be in a fucking 70-degree. You don't want to be in a 70-degree bedroom. You feel me? So I got to do something with the heat tonight. But other than that, man, it's been a regular basic day. I thought I was going to go without, my Mary Jane. I don't even know what type of weed I'm smoking. So I'll have to come up with the strain of the day maybe later on this week. I had to make a lot of errands and I had to do a lot of moves this morning. Unexpected, but nevertheless beneficial. Woke up at about 8, same time I would usually wake up now, which is kind of a good thing, except it depends if I get enough sleep. I think I got enough sleep tonight because I wasn't really groggy as much. Although this blunt might put me in another dimension. Trying not to cough. I'll just put it out. So from about, I would say 8:45 to about 9:30, I was pretty much on the road. Had to get gas in the car, which I didn't really do much to the tank. Thanks to Sleepy Joe Biden in office, these gas prices are fucking ridiculous. So on top of that, I wanted to record. I was trying to live stream this weekend, but I just didn't feel like it, man. It wasn't that I was depressed. I was actually in a good mood. I actually focused a lot more on my music. And speaking of, I forgot what instrumental that is and what it's called. It's called something else on SoundCloud. But you can find that instrumental on SoundCloud. I've pretty much been focusing a lot with music production, making beats. Especially in the morning, it's a perfect activity. I just wake up, roll out of bed, wash my face. I don't even take a shower yet. I make a beat, and then once I feel satisfied with it, I'll save it and then take a shower. You know what I'm saying? So, and like I said, I always mention it. It's always a fun process of making music and making something I really like and being able to play it here and to be able to incorporate it in the podcast. So really, that was my fucking morning, and, work is work. You know what I'm saying? But let's just get into it. Let's get into it. Do I want to go in order? Well, we'll get into the topics. As usual, I do have some videos to play. In fact, if you guys listened to Sunday's episode, you guys realized that I didn't get a chance to record later that day. So we're pretty much going to finish off the few videos that we have, but they are lengthy. But you guys already know what time it is. For me, literally, it's 7:36. So if I want, I can push this until 9:45, which will probably be the goal. But we'll see what goes down. All right. So without further ado, let me go on my playlist here, and we're gonna start this off with a thought. What better way to start off Manosphere Monday than with a thought? So without further ado, let's do it.
So, I have so many one night stands. Like, guys, there's just so many of them, like, all the time. Like, every time I go to the bar or, like, the club, like, I just always have a one night stand.
She belongs to the streets.
Wow.
So, yeah, I couldn't list all
She belongs to the streets.
of them. There's so many. I couldn't. Nor can I provide any information on them. But, like, I'm so crazy. Like, I'm just having a hot girl summer. You guys, I'm fully aware of how I am. And sometimes, like, I'm very aware. And I'm just like, where did I go wrong?
She belongs to the streets.
People take things so seriously on TikTok. Sometimes it's like, do you really think I'm just sleeping my way through life? Because I am.
Let's play that back one more time, okay? One more time. Matter of fact, I want to learn something new today. One more time. And which one can we use, man? How about that? Let's see. Let's see what this sounds like.
Un'altra volta. Un'altra volta.
Okay. Un'altra volta. Okay? One more time. Un'altra volta. Okay? That sounds Russian. I don't know why I sound Russian talking Italian, but fuck it. Let's get back to it.
It's crazy.
I have so many one night stands. Like, guys, there's just so many of them, like, all the time. Like, every time I go to the bar or, like, the club, like, I just always have a one night stand. So, yeah, I couldn't list all of them. There's so many. I couldn't. Nor can I provide any information on them. But, like, I'm so crazy. Like, I'm just having a hot girl summer. You guys, I'm fully aware of how I am. And sometimes, like, I'm very aware. And I'm just like, where did I go wrong?
She belongs to the streets.
Now, I play this twice for one reason. Well, multiple reasons, really. But you guys hear me talk about or use the term whorehound, and that's my word, okay? The World Wide Web whorehounds that have taken place in the dating market and relationships and everything of that sort when it comes to seeking a girlfriend, seeking a one-nighter. Of course, you have to say it differently to make the woman feel better about herself. But then you got whorehounds like that woman. And believe it or not, gentlemen, these women are more frequent now than ever. It started off as a jump off. You guys remember that song? Shout out to Joe Buttons. Jump off, the hoe. But the jump off was kind of like, if I must say, the jump off almost softens the blow of just being a thought. If you think about it, jump off is sort of like the PG version of saying a whore. You understand? You could use the term jump off in class and a teacher won't know what the fuck you're talking about. Versus saying, that bitch is a slut. That bitch is a skink. This broad's a jump off. See what I mean? Now, these women have essentially made the decision to live the lives that they want to live, especially this woman. This woman is very brave, and she tries to make it comical. She has the nervous laugh because she realizes everything that she's saying is true. She's a smut. She's a smut that's willing to acknowledge her smut activities. Now, some men will say, well, you have no choice but to respect that. I beg to differ. A woman who is willing to who is able to put herself for services, or who is willing to simply go out there and fuck men for possible material gain. A lot of these women constantly constantly realize that they have two of their worst enemies / opponents in opposition. One of those oppositions being vanity. Now, of course, within the manosphere, especially the red pill, we talk about the wall. But the wall doesn't necessarily have to be physical. In fact, a lot of these women who get past the age of 30 tend to look the same. Yes, they show age, but if they keep up, they can still find husbands just off the fact of being good looking. That's the reality. She's going to find a beta male provider. She's going to find beta bucks along the way. A guy that she's willing to take advantage of and possibly still be out there in the sexual market. It's infinite possibilities with a lot of women. But for the women who are not as fortunate, well, let's just say weight gain becomes a part of the equation. Or let's just say nature. Your face starts to sag. You don't look the same. You don't have the beauty that you have 25. You don't have the fertility that you have 25. So now the men who are your age are actually looking for younger women. A, because, let's face it, they're more attractive. B, on top of being more attractive, they're actually more willing to bear healthy children and remain healthy in the process. Doesn't take much. Now, this is the concern, gentlemen. When these 25-year-old women are like this woman that you're talking to here, she is no different than the 304 who is post-wall. And here's why. The attitude, the lack of self-accountability, sort of a childlike attitude and behavioral traits when it comes to, as I stated before, accountability, responsibility, anything that involves addressing their issues or problems that they've dealt with. They can easily, without a doubt, skip through all that and then get to know anything about a guy, everything about a guy, starting off with the most personal question: what do you do for a living? How much do you make? Etc. Now, most guys don't acknowledge this shit because they simply don't give a fuck. And it makes sense, and I understand it. Because a lot of men are just used to being held to just that. How much you make. What kind of car you drive. Right? But when a guy says how many bitches you fuck, how many niggas did you fuck, or in some cases with a lot of bisexual women who don't tell you they're bisexual until 3 months into a relationship, how many bitches they fuck, how many niggas they fuck, what's their body count? Oh, that's a personal question. But what I do for a living, how much money I make, what kind of car do I drive, where do I live, do I have a house or do I have my own shit, do I not have my own shit? That's not personal for these women, right? And for a lot of men, when it comes to the war within, it's the war within our abilities to stay on that direct path in self-development and bettering ourselves. Now, there's guys who consider themselves red pill. There's guys who consider themselves MGTOW. And all they really do is sit back, bullshit, complain. They're not making any money. They're not taking any opportunity and bettering themselves, especially with the job market now. You know, a lot of people are getting the vaccines. A lot of people aren't. I got 2. I'm not getting the third one. Straight up, I'm not getting the third one. You know what I mean? Two's just fine for me. I'm not getting the third one. But I did that just to stay afloat. And by doing that, which was actually a month before I left my previous job, that just made it better for me once I got here. Because they were trying to hit niggas with the jab. But I had my card. So I was like, here, man. I already did that shit twice. I'm not doing it again. So the jobs and the career opportunities are flourishing because a lot of people are just too scared to go out there and work, or a lot of people are, in my opinion, a lot of those on the right, this is just the black in me, a lot of those on the right will just say, oh, well, those people are just sitting back collecting money. Yeah, they worked for it. It's unemployment. Jackass, cocksucker. It's not welfare, dickhead, dickweed, piece of shit. I get tired of dealing with, and see, this is what happens when, as a black man, you've already stepped outside of your comfort zone. So it's not an issue having conversations with different people on these subjects of politics or anything of that nature. But it's always either the white liberal women or the white conservative men who are, the white conservative men are the most cucked. They're cuck central. They're the cuck headquarters. We're going to get into the black women in the black community and how they became the new matriarchy, or just the matriarchal headquarters within the United States. When you have men, when you are able to get men incarcerated, right, at an alarming rate, you're able to get men out of the household at the same time, get benefits and get programs from the government, there has to be something that gets addressed. Because see, the black women will always look at the black man and see the black man with the white woman and say he's a sellout. But throughout history, you've been kicking the black man's back in. Throughout history, black people like myself who did things different, skateboard, listened to different music, hung out in politics with different people, I got ostracized and pushed out of that category. The difference between me and maybe somebody else who isn't self-aware or who doesn't have enough confidence in himself, he would buckle and fold. I've actually been able to have more opportunities and meet more different people because I look past all the race and BS. It's about commonalities and what can we do, or what conversations can we have that is interesting to me or interesting to the other person as well. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of a conversation, really. That's the whole point of a fucking conversation. But you know, that's what we have here. You know what I mean? I went a little bit off a topic, but it is what it fucking is. I may just go into another video. But I am going to start breaking down just the idea of matter of fact, I'll just speak on it now. You never want to put yourself in an echo chamber. Meaning, you don't want to always listen to people that you agree with. Sometimes you may need to listen to the opposition. Sometimes you may need to watch the opposition. It's all about strategy and technique. See, niggas look at me like I'm retarded, but I know about this. And this go beyond the millions of war documentaries that I've watched when it comes to strategy and having a military mindset. So, in the same way that gangs throughout the world, matter of fact, let me get rid of some of these files because this is already holding up my phone. I don't want that shit to take place right away because I do want to make this a lengthy one. We're going to see if that is a possibility. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that should be good for now. But see, I look at it, like I said, I look at a lot of shit with a military mindset. So with like gangs and shit, with gangs throughout every community, or really to be exact, if you look at the influences, say, you know, the B's and C's within South Central California as a whole, and then the Chicanos, and then the Asians, and the Samoans, right? The Cambodians, the Haitian Jamaicans, Island boys, right? It was all a mindset of strategy, all right? you had physical strategy, or not even physical strategy, almost like physical restriction. The opposition and the enemy can be right across the street geographically. The opposition and the enemy can be 2 blocks away. The opposition and the enemy can be damn near across the street, directly across the street from where you at. You could probably live near the front line. In the front line, you got to be loaded in the front line, because that's where the opposition, you're going to most people are going to see the opposition from that angle. If you're looking at things on a territorial level, and that's why I had to mention the gangs in Los Angeles, because it's just like that as a military mindset. So I put that in perspective to women. I put that into perspective with my job. I put that into perspective with my money. Because I have bills like everybody else. Paying for a car insurance, etc., right? So the money I get, I make sure I put a percentage down from when it's wartime. And I mean, I'm not talking about violence or anything like that. I'm talking about when the struggle kicks in. You know, I may run out of money fast. Okay, I got this much saved up. I have this much stored for a rainy day. Or say if I had compadres, my homeboy hit me up saying, yo, I'm flat right now. I don't got anything, this and that. All right, boom. I'll send you a care package. Boom. Call of Duty shit. Care package inbound. Boom. Because I have strategy, and I'm thinking ahead rather than just looking at shit really 2-dimensional, or just looking at things just on one angle. Or I'm thinking about for a lot of guys, like black pill niggas. A lot of black pill men are just looking at the information and just dismissing it, because they're not willing to take accountability. In a lot of ways, they're just like hoes. And you see a lot of these guys, they'll bicker back and forth with certain MGTOW and red pill content creators, and they'll use the same exact shaming language that these bitches use. In a lot of ways, they're just as emotional and just as bitch made as these hoes. So I sometimes have to remember, and when I think about this, I get like at least 3 or 4 incidences where I'm explaining without even really thinking about it at a particular moment, the red pill, where it's like, I can't take what a woman says solid. That doesn't hold any weight to me. Because like most men, we've seen women say one thing, we've believed them, then they fuck around and do some crazy shit on the other end. Then when they get caught, they're not even regretful. They're mad that you pointed it out. They're mad that you're actually willing to point it out. Because then you got niggas that they see the shit going down. A lot of niggas know they getting used for the bread. They paying to slay. That's what I call pay for slay. They pay for slay, right? Which isn't a problem. It's just a lot of these niggas aren't willing to realize that if you didn't have that money, it's just like prostitution, dog. If you didn't have that job, if you didn't have that money, if you didn't have that stability, that woman ain't going to be around you. Because everybody knows at this point, especially within this community, within this platform, on this podcast, that a woman's love is conditional, okay? This goes with the looks. If a guy has a solid 6-pack abs in excellent shape and he's dating a woman, and if that guy starts gaining weight, starts losing those abs, that woman is simply going to lose interest. And in the process today, especially, when she even begins to think that she's losing interest, she's going to boot back up those accounts. She's going to boot back up Tinder. Matter of fact, speaking of Tinder, we got to give Based Chris another shout out. Based Chris, you guys make sure you subscribe to his channel because I want to play something that's just completely off the hook. And I do find it entertaining. As so, the content creator. Yeah. Where is this? Here we go.
It's crazy. Oh my God. Party cuck. Party cuckold.
Now, hold up. He's reading Tinder profiles. This shit is on Tinder, dog. Now, I'm going to try and break this down at the end as best as possible. But he's going to pretty much say a lot of things, but it's going to be based off of images. And I'm going to remember those images and kind of reiterate it for you guys at the end of the video, or at least through most of the video.
Oh, age 31, goes to the school of cucking. Goes to the school. Works at Cuckold Industries. Hello, I know you may not think this is real. I wish it wasn't real. But it is. My lifestyle is to be inferior to women, and you can kind of see some examples in my photos. I am in my 30s, a guy with a different lifestyle. If you and your friends want to go to the bar and run my card up and have fun humiliating me and making me jealous, let me know. It's a lot of fun. Like, guys, when I mean, you see, cucking is not even simping.
Oh my God. Oh man, yo. This nigga turned cucking. I didn't know cucking. It's funny because it's not funny at the same time, but it is funny at the same time. It's a fetish, right? Where a male, let's say who's married, what's the dude's name? They call him Cuck Murphy, but what's his real name? Who the fuck cares? Cuck Murphy is a guy who had a wife, or who has a wife, and allows his wife to get plowed by other men. And that's a form of cuckoldry, right? So the cuckoldry is really just the most ass backwards thing you can possibly do. It's like being in an open relationship where if you're married, the wife is the only one that's out there getting dick down. You're not getting any pussy. But you allowed your wife, someone that you had a ceremony with, that I think a lot of people, I mean, Western culture is essentially Finnish. And I have to acknowledge Hammerhand for pointing it out. If you look at, and it has nothing to really do with particular areas, it's more of the people. But a lot of people say, depending on where you are, you simply become products of your environment. You feel me? And I agree with that to an extent. There's always people who choose to try and explore or try to just interact with someone or within somewhere different. You know what I mean? I really hope to be one of those people one day. I had this weird, I wouldn't say it was a dream, because there's times where I'm laying down, especially if I'm just stoned. If I'm stoned, you know, I'll smoke like a blunt, maybe half one, go upstairs. I'll start playing Mass Effect 2, you know what I mean, the remastered shit. And then after a while, turn that shit off, right? Turn the lights were already off. Turn the TV off. You know what I mean? Because I had it on the wall mount. So I can't leave that shit on because that light is just crazy, critical. And I had this theory, or not even a theory, just a thought. You know, because I think like 4 years ago, I had wanted to get a motorcycle. And I had my peoples, he's out in PA now, but I had my peoples who was in my area. He had one in his backyard that he was just pretty much going to just keep around. And I asked him, you know, in theory, how much would you how much would you, sell that for, just for what it is? And he gave me some dumb price, you know what I mean? And I ended up having enough money. I just thought about it in the long run that wouldn't be the best idea. I would have to go for that particular driver's license and shit all over again. But I wanted something where if I wanted to, I can just pack, a couple days worth of clothes and just ride out on a motorcycle. We're not talking crotch rockets. We talking Harley Davidson level, old school Indian, the Indian boy, the Indian motorcycle. Okay, y'all look up Indian motorcycles and you'll know what I'm talking about. Exclusive, raw, powerful, stylish, but also mean, right? It's almost like the Monte Carlos that started hitting off in like the 80s. Or was it the 70s? Could have been the 70s Monte Carlo. Just looks fierce. Oh, Jesus. You had to put that shit out again, man. Whatever I'm smoking on, man, it's indeed powerful. But we want to get back into this, man. I don't want to get sidetracked.
Thing is like being a simp times the max. Like, you cannot call somebody a cuck a simp. Like, that guy, he's not even a man anymore. He threw out his masculinity a long time ago. He no longer has his masculinity badge. He might as well just be a female, bro. Like, if you're this down bad and you want to submit to a woman, like, bro, you have a mental disease, bro. You need to go seek professional help.
Down bad.
Like, this is bad, bro. We got a bunch of what's his name? Jack Murphy? We got a bunch of cuck Murphys out here, man. And they need to be canceled, bro. You simps, you cucks, you must be canceled, bro. All right. So we got Celeste, age 22. She's bi, so we already know she's a succubus spirit at best. Fellas, if you are trying to get in a relationship, you know what I'm saying, do you by all means. But avoid a woman that is bi. Let me tell you why.
Uh-oh.
The bi woman, they go both ways. They are double agents, all right? You know what I'm saying? And they're very promiscuous, you know what I'm saying? So she could be cheating on you with a man. She could be cheating on you with a woman. You never know.
She belongs to the streets.
All right? I dated one. You don't want to date a girl that's bi, bro. Me and my man's looking for someone, daughter, to eat together. Wow. Only accept chill vibes. We can drink and smoke.
Perfect.
And be crackheads together. Oh,
no.
Man. That's
Stop it. Get some help.
You know, this is the quickest way to catch an STD, man. It really is. So, looks like we got a cosplayer. Shout out to my boy Rhombus in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Rhombus, this might be the type of girl that you like. You know what I'm saying? Type of woman. But beware. She is a succubus. No hookups or snap. Cosplayer. Singer, artist, author, tarot card reader. Red flag. Okay. So the first red flag is no hookups or snap, right? Let's just forget she's a cosplayer. Now, I will say one thing about cosplayers. Most women that cosplay are succubus spirits. Let's just keep it a buck, right? I remember I was talking to this girl that she was a cosplayer and she had a boyfriend at the time, and now she has an OnlyFans. She's a succubus spirit at best. A second red flag, she's an artist. Any woman that has enough time to write an article or write a book, she is definitely alone, and she probably hates men. You know what I'm saying?
She belongs to the streets.
And because real women don't have time to write an article and to write a book, okay? Because they have husbands, fiancés, boyfriends, they have other priorities, right? Because most of the time they're talking shit about men anyway in these books. She's a freelance model. which can mean a bunch of things. She can be doing OnlyFan modeling, Instagram modeling, and showing off, you know, her half naked body, right? And she goes to university. Listen, man, if she's going to college, if you're trying to date a girl that's going to college, bro, or you even trying to talk to a girl, don't do it. Bro, she's going to have so many sausages in her face, it's going to be
She belongs to the streets.
ridiculous. All right, there's going to be so many zinc shots that are going to be offered to her. She's going to be taking so many DNA samples to the face, all over her body. You
She belongs to the streets.
know what I'm saying? It's not worth it. She's literally, if she's not a hoe now, when she goes to college, she will turn into a hoe. All right. I'm looking for friends or possibly more. Now remember, she said no hookups, right? But then right here she says I'm looking for friends or possibly more. You see, fellas, all we have to do is pay attention. All right. You gotta read what they're actually talking about. You have to listen to what they're talking about. All right, because they were like eventually expose themselves. All right. Also, I identify as polyamorous and bisexual. Oh boy, a lot of red flags on this one, guys. I finished college, and let me tell you, brothers, it's 304 paradise. That's all I'm saying, man. It's literally a 304 paradise. We have Lauren. Age 23, and her looks like a cuck boyfriend or whatever. I'm a cuck queen. Wow. Who loves to see her husband effed. I want him to be taken with or without me there. So many red flags, man. This is actually disturbing, bro. It turns me on knowing he is getting off.
Perfect.
Wow. We are also looking for a third person for other fun times if anyone is down. Listen, man. Even the ugly woman, bro, like even the ugly girls aren't satisfied. Like, that goes to tell you, like, what day and age we're living in and what modern women are. Like, she is ugly. Like, she's a -0 through the beauty scale, right? And she still isn't satisfied. Like, bro, a lot of these marriages are open marriages. It's either you know you're in an open marriage or your wife is cheating on you with somebody else.
Stop it. Get some help.
Like, this is sad, bro. Ain't no way she's 23. That's what I'm saying. She capping. She like 30. For the most part, I would say 90% of the time, it's always the woman's idea to bring somebody else into the relationship. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. What is this, bro? What is this, bro? What is this? What is this? For one, this picture right here is already ugly enough. Like, this picture right here is just like, my eyes are burning. I'm about to throw holy water with a mixture of bleach in my eyes, right? Just to get this image out of my head, right? But why? Like, what is the purpose? Matter of fact, I don't even know how the refrigerator is still standing. Like, chat, how is the refrigerator able to withstand such weight, such dominance, such thunderous fact? Like, I feel bad for the refrigerator. Like, the refrigerator is probably screaming out for help right now. Number two, how did you even get on top of the refrigerator in the first place? We know you're not athletic. You know what I'm saying? You're 300 pounds at best. Third, what are you wearing?
He said this bitch
Like,
shaped like a refrigerator. Yo, watch, you about to fry her.
Looks like a homemade dress that you made out of scraps from stuff that you found at the Goodwill. Just existing, keeping it light. Music, travel, and my dog. Best with all three. Psychonaut. Like, it's just... Oh, look, I got my COVID vaccination card. Brooke, age 24. Short guys swipe left. Fat girls swipe left. All right. A man under 6 feet is not a real man. A woman over 250 pounds is not a real woman. How about that? How about that? No matter of fact, I'll give you leeway. A woman over 300 pounds isn't a real woman. Sorry, not sorry. You are built like a center for the Dallas Cowboys. You are built like most starting linemen in the NFL. You are built like a sack of laundry that is 10 pounds. You are built like a sack of quarters. You are built like the Pillsbury dough once you get it out of the can. You are built like Papa John's pizza dough.
That's rough.
Smokers, swipe left. 420 friendly, I'll pass. Make under 100K, not interested. How much money do you make? I guarantee you don't make 100K, but you can have all these standards looking like this. You can't even see your kneecaps, my nigga. Where are your kneecaps? You can have no kneecaps, my nigga. Let's keep it a buck. You over here you're wearing Glade trash bags on. You cut up a Glade trash bag, a black duffel. You're wearing a trash bag as shorts. You got the nerve to have all these standards. Sorry, but I have to be direct and I know my worth. Looking for a man, not a boy. And I'm looking for a woman that's not over 300 pounds. Built like a refrigerator. Oh, God. She built like a deep freezer. She built like a walk-in freezer.
Hey, yo, this nigga. Yo. Oh my God, bro. Yeah, this nigga had me crying. I was listening to this shit earlier. And, oh man, I know I look like a fool, but I had my big ass headphones with me today anyway. So they knew that I was laughing to whatever I was listening to. But man, this completely destroying this bitch. And by the way, of course, it's a refrigerator shaped bitch. This is what I've been saying from day one. And I never even knew about this man's content until a couple weeks ago. These refrigerator shaped bitches. He said deep freezers. He said deep freezer shaped bitches. That is fucking atrocious.
A guy that makes 100K can find a SB for 500 a week that looks phenomenal. Facts. Unrealistic demands. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like this is insane, chat. Like they really like modern women really got the nerve, bro. Like they really think they all that, and it be the ugly ones too, and the fat ones. Like, and the reason why, in chat, the reason why these women have like their egos are so big, and they think that they're all that in a bag of chips, is because these simps have boosted their ego. They boosted their confidence. These women have fake confidence. These women think just because they get 30 matches on Tinder or any of these dating sites that equates to real life. It does not. The only reason you're getting those matches is because men are thirsty. A lot of men are thirsty. A lot of men are not getting, they're not getting sex, bro. They're not having intercourse. There's a lot of, there's never been more virgins as men in this world, ever. We have more virgins than ever. These men are they trying to get some buns. You are not attractive. This is not what men go after. We do not want our woman to be bigger than us. Listen, if you're a lady or a woman watching the stream right now, if your man cannot pick you up, that is a red flag. If your man's hair is longer than yours, that is a red flag. As men, we should be able to pick up our woman on our back, throw her on the bed. Know what I'm saying? Throw her like a football. If we cannot pick you up and carry you on the back and carry you up the stairs, you're too big. Simple as that, bro. Simple as that. Bro, the chat is going crazy. Bro. I can barely keep up. Too many Simpson cucks cause them to get lazy, rely on their existence to get male attention. Exactly, Huey. See, this is the thing. They wouldn't want to look like this if they didn't get the attention and validation from the Simps. If Sims did not validate women that look like this, fat woman, right? They would not have this much confidence. They would actually want to lose weight. But since they get all this attention and validation, they think that, oh, okay, well, men will just love me for who I am, so I'm not going to change. I'm not going to lose weight. I'm not going to be healthy. I'm just going to remain obese and eat like a man and eat like a pig. So therefore, these women feel empowered to be fat. That's why the whole BBW thing blew up, is because it's not the fact that men actually like BBWs, you know what I'm saying, or like big women. It's the fact that men lost they lost standards. They lost, their self-worth, you know what I'm saying? And they lowered their standards just to get coochie. That's why that's a thing. That's why the BBW fetish is a thing, is because men literally have no standards. They think coochie is coochie, and coochie is not coochie, guys. I want y'all to realize that. You have to have standards for yourself. So we have TT, age 18. First off, I am fluffy and thick. Guys, she's thick and she's loving it. All right, I'm loving it. I am 250.
Jesus Christ.
Now listen, guys.
Oh
this is the
God.
thing. When a woman is 250 and she's 5'8" or even below 6 foot, she is fat.
Stop it. Get some help.
That's not thick, honey. You are fat. All right. If you can't pick my fat ass up, at least she's acknowledging that she's fat. She's not delusional. Then you ain't the one. I guess we not the one, chat. Who in the chat wants to pick up this thick and fluffy woman that's 250 pounds? I'll tell you what, I'm not doing that. You're not getting on top of my back. You're going to break every bone in my back. And I'm going to have to go get surgery. That's going to cost thousands of dollars. That's a hospital bill waiting to happen. I am 5'8", German Russian, so I am tall. I love to have a good time. Oh, yeah, I'm sure you do. You like to have a good time with food. I have a great personality. As men, we don't care about a woman's personality. Are you feminine? Are you fit? And are you non-argumentative? And can you bring me peace in my life? Very kinky. Nobody cares. I like a dude who is 6 foot or taller. But you're not 6 foot or taller. I don't get it. Women, they really think, modern women really think that height has something to do with masculinity. And it doesn't. Being short doesn't make you less of a man, and being tall doesn't make you more of a man or less of a man. Bisexual, I'm a lot to handle. Oh yeah, we can tell. 250 pounds on our back while we're trying to take you up the stairs? That's a no for me, man. If I wanted to put 250 pounds on my back, I will go to the gym and squat. Okay? Bisexual, I'm a lot to handle, have a lot of problems. I'm mentally screwed.
Jesus Christ.
If you can't handle it, then don't swipe right. Just want to make some friends. Now, guys, I want you guys to pay attention to something. Look how dirty her mirror is. I'm going to zoom in on this. Look. This mirror looks like it hasn't been cleaned in 2 months. Looks like there's a bunch of toothpaste on there, a bunch of old water, some mildew, some mold. She has trash on the floor. This looks like a trash can that tilted over. And guess what, guys? The sad thing about this is she's going to have more matches than the average man.
Of course.
She's going to have 100 guys in her DMs.
Beta males.
I'm trying to smash. Damn, mama.
Yep.
Damn, mama, you so thick, mama. I'm trying to smash. Let me come over, mama. Oh, I'm trying to cream pie. Hey, I'm trying to hit you in the rain. I'm trying to hit you on the bike. I'm trying to eat it from the bike. Dirty house and dirty mind. Listen, fellas, if her bathroom is this dirty, what do you think her coochie smells like? Like, what? Like, let's be honest, chat. If she can't keep her bathroom clean, there is a 99.9% chance that her hygiene sucks. Like, this is a walking, talking STD, bro. Hopefully she cleans her ass better than her bathroom. D-man, there's not a chance that she can wipe all of that. And this is the thing, and this is why I say that you don't want to be with a woman that is big, right? Is because it's hard to have all of this fat, right? And be able to clean your butt properly. Like, she would have to, like, after taking a crap, like taking a poop, she would have to literally take a shower. Like, she would have to take a bath. I'm not talking about shower. I'm talking about a bath, like soaking in a bubbly bath.
Bathing.
So you know her booty stink, bro. You know she got some doo-doo wipes on her underwear, bro. Her JJ smell like doo-doo and ketchup.
Oh, come on.
No, I got something worse. Pop Smoke. The JJ smells like doo-doo and expired Vienna sausages with a mixture of old hot dog water.
Damn. Fuck.
You know when you boil a hot dog, you know what I'm saying, and then you let the water sit on the stove for a little bit and it really stinks? That's what it smells like. So we got Danielle here. She's 19. Being a stoner is my only personality trait. It also went viral on TikTok because my friend bought me a cake when I reached 10 bodies.
Wow.
Chat.
Fuck.
I think I seen this TikTok. I'm pretty sure I seen this TikTok on Mr. Moments channel. Shout out to my boy Moments. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go subscribe to him. This is sad, bro. Like, modern women are literally celebrating being promiscuous.
There you go.
There's never been a generation of women that celebrated being promiscuous.
There you go.
Until now. Gen Z is by far the worst generation ever. Like, this is what we have to deal with. This is what they want us to marry. These are our options, fellas. She got 10 bodies and she's only 19, bro. Just think about how many bodies she's gonna have when she's ready to settle down. And most modern women don't settle down until their 30s or late 40s. Bro, that coochie gonna have more miles than a 1950 Ford.
Damn. Fuck.
Bro, the carburetor broke down. The seats all messed up. The leather peeling off. The engine messed up. It's close.
Damn.
Clogged up when you turn it on, it's like you got to do all types of things to preheat the coochie.
Shit.
Like, bro, this is what we have to deal with. And they wonder why men are opting out every day of the dating scene, bro. You wonder why men are done. You wonder why men are just want a casual, keeping it casual and occasional with y'all. We not cuffed. Perfect. And y'all no more? We not marrying y'all no more? Perfect. The red pill mental, it's been blowing up for the past year and a half. There's a reason for that, ladies. Being promiscuous is The only thing that being promiscuous is going to lead you to is being alone and being with a relationship with a beta male simp provider that you do not have any intentions of staying in that relationship or marriage in. That you don't even love, that you don't even like to be around. Is that what y'all want? And after you divorce and take half of this stuff, then you're gonna die alone with cats. Like that. Like, come on, bro. Come on.
Stop it. Get some help.
Double digits, bro. I'm telling you, by the time she hits 40, she's gonna have like at least 200 plus bodies.
Welcome to my channel. So today, as you read from the title, we're going to be having another very important girl talk. In today's video, we're going to be talking about 50-50 relationships. And
in the name of our holy cheek slang scripture, in Cheek Slang Scroll 1, chapter 11, verse 3, it states, a relationship with the woman should always be 50-50. She rubs your back and you break hers.
I landed in a position that broke my back and severed my spinal cord.
All right. All right, so let's just go back into the playlist because I think this played off of another fucking video that I didn't want. Yeah, it definitely did. Let's go into this next one.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl back for another video. So in this video, I'm going to discuss single mothers and welfare. I've gotten a lot of comments regarding single mothers being victims. They need welfare. It's our job to take care of them, and you know, so on and so forth. So I'm going to give my opinion on that. Now,
here we go.
To me, single mothers are not victims. We need to stop victimizing bad behavior. Single mothers are the direct result of irresponsible sexual behavior. Women seem to be more delusional now than ever before. They think that they can be feminists, whether they say they are or not. They want to sleep around and hook up situations out of committed relationships, out of wedlock, and have these children irresponsibly, and then they think that the man that they hooked up with needs to step up and be a father and be financially responsible for her and the child, and the state needs to be financially responsible for her and the child. So she gets to go out and be reckless, sleep around, and be promiscuous, and she you know, gets to be a victim at the end of the day. Everyone else is responsible for her and the child she created irresponsibly. It's just so delusional to think that way. There are consequences for your bad behavior. If you are sleeping around as a woman and hooking up with different men and you get pregnant, then you need to be responsible for the child that you created in that situation. Now, women today love talking about how independent they are, how they don't need a man, they don't need, you know, anybody for anything, they can do it all on their own. Well, if you want to be a big girl and hook up and sleep around and you get pregnant, then you need to face the consequences of that and take care of the children that you created. It is not, it's not really the father's job in that situation because you chose to sleep around out of a relationship. So if you and another man agree to have sex for a night, no strings attached, and never see each other again, then if you get pregnant, you know you can get pregnant, then how can you contact him and expect him to step up and be a father and be, you know, you need to be a man, you need to take care of your child. Well, you're not in a relationship. That wasn't part of the plan. All y'all was supposed to do is have sex and never see each other again. And you know that as the woman, you know that you will get pregnant, and if you do, you have to bear the child. So you need to be responsible and deal with the consequences of that decision. And you know, then after they, you know, run to the man and say, you need to be a man, you need to take care of your child, then they go to the state and try to get, you know, welfare in most instances. And I'm not repeating what I've heard someone else say. This is based off firsthand experience. I went to college with single mothers. I grew up with single mothers. I've been around single mothers all my life, and I've lived in different states and cities. This is not the only place that this is going on. I was born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana, but I've lived up north, I've lived in other cities, and I've seen the exact same thing taking place. When women become single mothers, it's because they had sex. They made that decision. You need to be ready to face the consequences of that and be a big girl and take care of the children that you created. It's not the taxpayer's job to care for your mistakes that you created. You know, women want it all. They're so delusional. They want everything. They don't want to be married anymore. They want to be in careers. They want to live like they perceive men live. They want to work and have children. Not have children. They want to have sex out of committed relationships and be promiscuous and have all these sexual partners, and they still want to be looked at as respectable women. And if they get pregnant, it's everybody else's problem. Everybody else has to help take care of these children. No, it doesn't work like that. You made the decision to have sex, and you need to face the consequences. Our society needs to stop victimizing single mothers. They're single mothers for a reason. They don't want to be in relationships. They want to sleep around and hook up with different men. And when they have these children, you know, they always talking about how independent they are, but yet when they have these children, they, you know, run into the father that they're not even in a relationship with. Sometimes they hardly know the father, and they'll tell the father, you need to be a man or I'm going to take you to court. And 9 times out of 10, they take them to court anyway. And then they can get on welfare and they can get everything, you know, given to them and their child. And it's at the expense of everyone that works. You know, it's completely unfair. It's not fair to the taxpayers, the people that get up every day like myself and work and are responsible. You know, I'm a woman. I could have very well have been a single mother, but I'm not, because I wasn't reckless. I wasn't sleeping around out of committed relationships. I understand that having children, they need a father. They need a father just as much as they need a mother. And, you know, I understand my role as a woman. I didn't want to go out there and, you know, I understand feminism is a complete lie. It's just women wanting to be victims and be entitled to stuff. And I understand that it's wrong. And I know I would never want to bring a child in a situation where there's no father because I'm sleeping around, you know, out of committed relationships. I wouldn't even bring a child into an environment like that. I wouldn't, you know, lay down and make the decision to have sex in a situation like that, to bring a child into that environment. You know, I understand people make mistakes. You know, ladies, if you have one child in a situation like that, you know, I could respect a woman that says, you know what, I made a mistake. I brought a child into this situation. I'm never going to do it again. I'm going to make better decisions. And she doesn't do it again. But to sit there and make it over and over and over and have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kids from several different fathers, you know, I don't understand that. You know, when does it end? When are you going to admit that, you know, this is wrong, I shouldn't have done it, and it's my responsibility to not make this mistake anymore? You didn't just wake up pregnant for all these children from all these men. You chose to have sex out of a committed relationship. Now you must face the consequences, because there are consequences, and it's not society's job to support your children out of wedlock. It's your responsibility alone. And I'm just so tired of society victimizing, you know, these women. I get comments, especially on my Section 8 video I did on Donald Trump's budget cuts to Section 8, his proposal. A few single mothers and a few guys actually took up for him, saying that, you know, how do you expect these women to get out of poverty with these children with nothing but minimum wage jobs? Well, I expect them to get out of it by not doing it. They didn't have to have those children. They make a choice to have sex. That's a choice they made. You know, they didn't just have all these children. You know, then I would say they're a victim, but they made the choice. I expect them to get out of it by not making that choice. You know, we all make choices each day, and our choices have consequences. So I choose not to do certain things because I don't want to face the consequences. I don't want to put myself in that predicament. And again, I would never want to bring children in an environment where I'm a single mother, there's no father, and I can't afford to take care of my children. I wouldn't go out and buy something that I can't afford because I can't pay for it. So don't lay down and make these children if you can't afford them and you can't give them a good life and you're not in a committed relationship. If women would stop buying into feminism, they would understand that when you're in a committed relationship with a man and you're already a family, and when you bring children into that environment, then they have their mother and father, and you're a complete family unit. And the child will grow up getting everything they need from their father and everything they need from their mother. Women cannot teach little boys how to be men. Women cannot raise children on their own, contrary to what they may say, because these single mothers love talking about how independent they are. I hear it all the time. I'm independent. I can do it all on my own. I don't need a man. Well, if you don't need a man and you can do it all on your own, then you don't need child support, and you don't need to harass the father, and you don't need to drain our welfare system, because that money can be going towards other things that, that society needs. It's absolutely ridiculous. So just wanted to address that. Comment below with what you think. Do you think single mothers are victims? Give me your thoughts on that. I'm curious to hear it, and subscribe if you want to hear more, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.
All right, that was Nola Girl 504. Nola Girl 504. Bass Chris. Previously, I wanted to play both of those back to back just to get through them, because now we have gotten through most of the video content. We are only an hour and 15 minutes in. For some reason, I thought we were a little bit further. But to answer the question, how much does it cost to raise a kid? The average cost of raising a child born to a middle income married couple is approximately $267,000 in 2021. Over a period of 18 years, or more than $14,800 per year per child for or more than $14,800 a year per child for a typical two-child household, according to the U.S. News and World Report. So you now have to incorporate the state, who essentially raises the child, of course, if the baby father is therefore absent, in which the women will, of course, use the court system as said to make those things happen. But just something to think about. We're going to go into these topics that I have. No one's going to love you more than yourself, okay? When you start, you'll know this, you'll understand this when you start making progress. And that progress can be something very micro or very macro. Or it could be something micro that builds into a macro. And it's something basic. It may be basic to you, but to other people it's something different. So it's all about perception and how people view things and how you view things. And when that comes with growth and development, that's going to come at a cost, because you're going to have a lot of people that don't understand the moves that you're really making and the progress or the purpose that you now have. So you're going to have a lot of people who you thought was on your side go against you. Or you'll find this out when you're down and out. You feel me? You'll find this out when you have nothing. And you may have been the person in the past that's looked out for others. You may have been that person in the past if someone needed something and you had it, they had it. Then you come to a point where you may be down bad. And none of those people are around, or more directly, none of those people are willing to help you out. It's almost as if they've forgotten the things that you've done for them. But all of that doesn't matter if you make progress. And by making that progress, you become a better you. And then these other people who try to come back in, you already know what it's all about, and you already know how to handle it. Me, I typically stay in my own bubble. I still stay well educated, especially within these topics, and within a discussion, or just within this episode, even beyond the content creators that I choose to play, simply because I'm fans of them, and I think that they have good work. Male, female, doesn't really fucking matter much at the end of the day now, does it? Because you got guys that will still consider, and I like how Hammerhand pointed it out. Once again, shout out to Hammerhand and MGTOW Monk. Support Hammerhand on YouTube before he gets fucking suspended or fucking banned from YouTube again. He mentioned that, you know, a lot of guys will subscribe or support Tommy Lauren, and Tommy Lauren is, like I've said it before, one of those closeted liberals, where at any point in time she can be on CNN the next week. That's how liberal minded she is. And with the whole the men are boys thing, men are trash meltdown that she had, emotional breakdown that she pretty much had, what it represented was the true nature of her, or true nature of women within her position, where she is successful. Not only successful, she's successful than most of the men that she's in the dating market with. The guys that she may have interest in, she may just not be good enough. And for her, it's this belief that I work hard, I have all of these things going for myself, I'm educated, and none of that shit really matters to men today. You dig? But she played that feminist role just for that, just long enough for certain guys who really understand this and who really are red pill aware to really point the shit out. I think more so now than ever, this sort of behavior, this sort of behavior and activity is more or less just a prime example of how fucked up we've became as men, right? And within that, we're going to get into this idea, and we're going to be ping-ponging back and forth through these subjects for the next 45 minutes, because I have a lot to discuss tonight. And you know what? I've been thinking I'm gonna probably upload this audio to my Google Drive. That way, when I get home, I can probably come up with a quick project for YouTube. I'll put a podcast episode out there on YouTube to try to, boost up the listens, to get the participation. I've been having pretty good episodes. I have to look up. Might as well do it now, right? Who the fuck cares? Trying to look up and see, and I usually do this every now and then. I'll go back to previous episodes. High expectations / low value women, that got pretty much the most in recent episodes, and that was on the 15th. Okay. I've been thinking, especially with this particular episode, or maybe other things, because now if I make it an episode, it'll be a possibility. I'm going to try to use some fair use into this, because like I said, I have nothing but respect for a lot of these content creators and the people I play. It's just how the reaction is going to go with them. You know what I mean? I try to make this platform, or make this podcast sort of a variety of different opinions and different people who in a lot of cases have the same opinions. A lot of these women say the same exact shit that I be saying, but I believe that the women have a more elegant, especially that woman, a more elegant, presentable fashion to where she can pretty much say whatever the fuck she wants. Somebody like me, it's not going to work out so well. So I think I've been, bullshitting with the YouTube thing, but I kind of do want to make it a, what's the word that I came up with? Interactive YouTube channel where I'll incorporate a lot of episodes from the podcast, including this one, Why the Fuck Not? A Manosphere Monday, The War Within. And talking about the war within the Manosphere is something that's entirely different than the war within yourself. The war within yourself is just like everyday human spiritual beings, spiritual manifestations incorporated in the earth, a world that is pretty much covered in bullshit, violence, and just the exploitation, the market of exploitation, where it feeds off of the hopeless, and it feeds off of the hungry, and it feeds off of the needy, and it feeds off of poverty, and it feeds off of illness, and it feeds off of decay, right? The exploitation and the market behind it is what makes the country what it is. All of these illnesses, and pharmaceutical technicians pump out pills that cause more problems, that have more side effects, that cause more damage long term, that a lot of people don't want to fucking realize or understand. That's really the reality. But see, that just being a prime example, we're just peeling back the onion to get even deeper when you talk about the manosphere. Because now you have people they pretty much have what I call game for sale. These are people that have what I call game for sale. And game for sale is pretty much what it is. It's a group of people, it's a group of men. A lot of them got insightful shit. I don't necessarily have a problem with it. It just boils down to not just, because it really boils down to niggas trying to get their loot. And if people were just direct, like, listen, I've been putting out a lot of information. I got a lot of friends who's out here making books, doing this and that. I want in. That's a completely different story. But a lot of these guys, they still try to play the Cape Crusader and try to play some type of superhero. See, me, I'm a villain. I'm gonna teach you the harsh realities so you can man the fuck up and you can be the true villain within. You're not gonna be the nice guy. You're gonna be the nice guy when it benefits you. That's how men gotta play it today. We gotta be the nice guy when it benefits us. Okay? And you'll know, if you're red pill aware, when it's time to put that cape aside. But you have the costume alpha males. And the costume alphas, they're typical. You can point them out. These are pretty much your top candidates for game for sale type of fuckery that goes on. Now, they're not willing to admit that, hey, we trying to make some money, we trying to break some bread. They really, and I guess it's like the spirit of, it's the spirit of the pickup artist, where they have game for sale. This is the best example, pickup artists. Now, I've always considered PUAs to be purple pill. Now, I've made this statement over 3 years ago, and this is the reason why. One of my old friends that I used to go to high school with, he used to come over. He used to live in like North Jersey. He used to live in like South Jersey. And he used to drive like an hour and 30 minutes just to get up. And, my neck of the woods, or not really woods at all, And we would record what we would how can I say this? What we would later on call, that was a tongue twister for some reason, the purple pill experience. And what it was me and sort of my just red pill mindset and way of thinking when it came into relationships. And my friend, who was essentially blue pill because he didn't know about the red pill, he's been in a relationship for 10 years, etc. You know what I mean? And I talked about how the reason why I called it purple pill is because simply the mindset, red pill wear, blue pill lifestyle, blue pill relationship, 10 plus years. You know, and that's not an insult, that's just what it is. Now, it's a difference if you're red pill wear and you're in a relationship for 10 plus years. That says something. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't understand what's going on in the environment around you and you just so happen to lose that relationship, you're getting back into a completely different dating scene. And what they do within the market of exploitation, these snake oil salesmen will try to sell you game. Something that you should develop within, which I promote is self-development. And like I said, the book that I'm writing, I'm just displaying it. I'm just releasing it. You know what I mean? I don't really care. I don't have nothing to profit off of when it comes to solid information that can possibly help another person. I believe that same way of thinking at the same time can go against me, but I'm willing to take that sacrifice just to get the message and get the point across without need of a large particular audience either. You know what I mean? So, like I said, the market of exploitation is like the PUAs. And I told him, I remember one recording we did a while back. I don't even have it saved on my Facebook anymore because I deleted most of my live shit from Facebook because I really looked at it later on as a waste of time. I could have been putting that energy and effort into the podcast a long time ago. You know what I mean? But I just wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking clear-headed. You know what I mean? I was essentially putting myself in an echo chamber. And I just wanted to listen to people that had my way of thinking. Like, oh, okay. And there's only a few people that I can even, I wouldn't compare myself to directly as a content creator. I can compare myself to with just a personality. You know what I mean? People that if I was around or people that if we were cool, it would be really bad for everybody and everything around us. You know what I'm saying? Like really bad. But luckily, you know, I've been able to really stay on the straight and narrow. But like what I'm getting into with the echo chamber, it was like I was always raised to be open-minded. You know what I mean? My stepfather, or who was my stepfather, I should say, who I still have his last name, was a Hungarian. Italian, Hungarian, one, I think both, or something of that nature. And, you know, I've learned, you know, regardless of color, it's just the type of person you are. You know what I mean? It's that character. And I've learned that, like I said, from an early age. But as I gotten older, it hasn't dawned on me, but really what the red pill almost does, it leaves you closed-minded. You can't have that open mind. And see, a lot of people will argue this, and I understand it, but understand that you can still be free thinking. You can still have a free thought. But what I'm saying is you tend to close yourself in more, especially if you have the Sigma male mindset. Alpha males, of course, they're going to disagree. They're in the game. That's what they're supposed to do. Beta males, on the other hand, they're going to tend to side more with our way of thinking, being the Sigma males, because we have more of a realistic way. We don't have a problem talking about our mistakes in the past. We don't mind using our previous fuck-ups as examples of what not to do more frequently than just going to the gym, lifting weights, doing things that you should already come up with, a regiment and a schedule, and, you know, whatever you need to make that shit happen, you should already have that. if you're really in this particular community and getting into community, I want to point a couple things out as well. Getting into the particular black community. The black community is the matriarchal headquarters of the United States of America. And why do I say this? Well, when you look into things like single motherhood, of course, I always say it's not just a particular race thing, but when we use this as an example, it will make more sense in the long run. Now, the black community is the matriarchal headquarters of the United States. Okay? A matriarchy is a woman who is the head who is the head of a family or tribe. All right. In some cultures, the mother perceives to the status of matriarch. All right. Also, an older woman who is powerful within a family or organization is considered a matriarch as well. Now, why am I saying this? Well, as I stated, single motherhood, which at one time was shamed upon, which has been facilitated now by the government as a security blanket for these bitter, broken bitches to fall back on taking the taxpayer's dollar through her promiscuous behaviors that a lot of these women still continue to exercise. And since they know that they're going to get a free handout from the government, why not have another child and get more benefits? You see, this is an ongoing cycle. Now, why would the black community be mentioned? Well, you see a lot of the activities that go on in the black communities. We see a lot of households that go on in the black communities. I'm a black male who grew up in one of these households within the communities. So I can give you a step-by-step on how certain men can get lost in the sauce and really go into the street shit and really go into the dark end and really go into the left-hand path, I should say. You dig? Niggas can go on the left-hand path without a structured household that includes a mother and father. But it seems to be in a lot of our communities that these things are never really an issue. These are the things that are never really brought up in these so-called sisters who are supposed to promote this black love and this care and consideration for the black man. I know this to be a lie because I experienced this time and time again growing up as a kid. Right? So with the black community taking the role of the matriarch, the females who are the single mothers, the females who are pretty much the thoughts who are glorified and celebrated in a lot of these communities due to I believe to be the reaction through the social and direct entertainment of these celebrities and the influencers who are in power and these people who are promoted by media, right? These are usually, of course, you know, your Cardi B's, Megan Thee Stallions, Nicki Minaj's within the black communities. These traits of these women are all primarily masculine, problematic, but famous and successful. And that's the important role to famous and successful that a lot of these women go for in the route of clout. It doesn't really break down into talent. And I'm not saying that to be like rude or fucked up. That's just really what it is. It never breaks out as talent per se. But these women become the head of the tribe in the sense of the community. A lot of the men, to be honest, to take responsibility on behalf of men, a lot of men been fucking up. A lot of men chose to sleep around with these sluts. And a lot of these men are stuck in the position of having to be fathers. And even if they reach a position to where they want to be fathers, they're being held back by these wicked ass women, which they end up being, shout out to Mr. Palmer, baby mama terrorists. And these baby mama terrorists run amok. And what they do is there's really a science and there's a psychology breakdown when it comes to a baby mama terrorist. See, she'll have and I've broken this down several times, but I'm going to break it down differently. She'll have interactions with guys who she sees as potential partners. Meanwhile, she has a child with a father that she constantly tells the man who isn't shit. So the nigga who is able to rearrange the guts, have the kid, be able to dip off, do whatever the fuck he wants, is in the clear. You, being the man, have to take core responsibility, and the woman core responsibility, and the child financially, security wise, etc. Right? And because the matriarchal headquarters of the United States being the black community, these women promote it. Because remember, getting in deeper, if I have this written down, and I do have it written down because I didn't get a chance to finish off what I wanted to say, I've always expressed it. Other people have expressed it. Certain MGTOW content creators express it. And that is, women and men are better together, but men can benefit more alone today. Today, I'm saying, okay? Women and men are better together. Whether it's the worst time of marriages or the best time, the survival instinct of man and woman when it comes to love is different. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Love for women is a survival mechanism. That after she goes through the cock carousel, after she goes through sleeping around, she'll have that opportunity to look for that special someone. Or she believes in her mind that at that point she needs to reach out right away because she's already hitting the wall. She's gained a couple pounds. She's not as attractive as she used to be. Plus, she has a high body count. What she doesn't take to accountability throughout all the years of riding the cock carousel and being promiscuous sluts is that they're damaging their pair bonding skills. Now, their pair bonding can break down into several things. Now, I tend to have a weird theory that pair bonding originally is produced via the parents, starting with the father. Now, I know that's going to sound weird and incestuous to certain people, but let me explain. The father who's bringing money into the household, the father who is providing, the father who is always there, the father who's there to discipline, the father who's there to also be caring and considerate when it's needed, right, is the first sign of a respectful representation of a hardworking man. So she's already going to have that particular measure to add into with the modern men today. You understand? So she's not really she's not fed as much negative energy as the modern woman. But because a lot of women and men are not developed in two-parent households, we've pretty much gotten one side of the ordeal. Now, if you're a woman and you grow up in a one-sided household being the mother, there's a good chance within today's way of dating and today's way of households, being the matriarchal communities of white, black, etc., just the sisterhood of feminism, these particular women can now control the narrative. So they can get handouts from the government and also say that they're strong and independent. They can say that they're single mothers by choice, but still later on bicker about niggas ain't shit, but you let a nigga bust all in you so you could become a single mother by choice. See, this is, once again, back and forth BS. And really, when you tend to look at things like the welfare system, and with the welfare systems, this is what the welfare system did globally, or not even globally, just nationally in this country alone. The welfare system divided race and family within gender at the same time. They were able to place a stereotype that was easy to pick up within black people, especially black people in low income, even middle, low class areas where they get particular money from the government. And I'm not putting all of these people in this negative light, but I have to point this out. The welfare system divided the race by putting the stereotype on the lazy black person who will just sit back, get free handouts, and get stamps and not do anything to produce any work or any activity to society, not really provide any work. You understand? And it gotten so bad to where if a black person comes from a family, I came from a family, we never had that. I didn't know my father until I was 18. I was raised by a fucking white Hungarian / Italian man who, like I said, I still have his last name to this day, and I won't, change it back. His birthday was actually yesterday or 2 days ago. It's funny that I mentioned him, but he's in, I think, North Carolina or some shit somewhere. But he was the one that really taught me a lot of things when it came to the value of a dollar. You know what I'm saying? I would go to him, and he lived, I'm not going to say where in this particular state, but he lived, in a good secluded area in the state of Jersey. And he would cut grass and shit, and then, I learned how to use the lawnmower, and then I started cutting grass, and I would go to his house because it was weird because he was married to my mom, but I already knew he didn't like my mom. He didn't look at my mom like very problematic. They argued a lot, but I never looked at him as a person who was in the wrong. I always knew that there was something else going on. But I would go with him to his house like every weekend, and then I would go home with at least like $50 to $70. Just cutting grass, not even doing that much work, but just learning, being taught the value of a dollar, being taught that you have to work and you have to earn to make a living. You can't just sit back and expect to get free shit. You feel me? So that was one of the main people that I really gained a lot of insight with when it came to just working and doing what you got to do. And he actually did the same shit that I'm doing today, oddly enough. Growing up, I remember going with him, and he would work in this daycare, not a big daycare, decent size, and he would just go through, vacuum, take out the garbage, shit like that. Nothing too major. And I used to go with him. And I used to be like, I was probably like 11, maybe 12. And, he'd have me run the vacuum. And then, when I go home, even at that age, he'd give me like $30. I'm like, damn, $30. He's like, this is what you get when you work for a living. When you actually get up off your ass and make something of yourself, you get something. Sometimes it seems like a small amount, but it's a sacrifice you make. And it's the question of how much more work are you willing to put in to make that extra dollar? Or are you just going to reach a point where you burn yourself out? You become a person that becomes money hungry, but not in a healthy manner. See, I know a lot of people who are money hungry. And as a matter of fact, I know several people who are money hungry. And there's two ways that I look at money hungry. I look at it as you become possessive, in which possessive to money equals greed and equals a lot of the negativity, or you become, you have more of a determination to obtain money in a more organized, reasonable fashion, to where a lot of people won't even know you're making it. See, that's where you reach a point where it's like you doing something when you can make it appear that you're doing nothing. You dig? You doing something when you can make it appear that you're doing nothing. Watch American Gangster with Denzel Washington. The whole idea of what I'm talking about is based on a portion of that movie where you had the chinchilla jacket or the chinchilla coat that he had, that his wife, I think his Dominican wife, I think she was from Dominican Republic, and he usually didn't wear flashy clothes, and he didn't want to wear that coat because he already knew that would that would be too loud. He wasn't that type of person. He was a person that dressed basic. Other dudes like Nicky Barnes, for example, another known kingpin drug dealer, gangster, if you will, at that particular era, he was flashy. He wore a lot of flashy clothes. He did a lot of flashy shit. Frank Lucas was complete opposite. You know, he was smooth to a point where you wouldn't have even known how much he had or what he was besides the name and the recognition. You feel me? So I learned from that movie in a weird, bizarre way to be more low key. I don't really care. I like buying nice clothes. You know what I mean? I like getting the shit that I want, but I have more of a priority of obtaining the things that I need. The basic things like bills, the basic things like, you know, car insurance, things of that nature, that's not an issue. And I just learned to have more control because, like I said, my stepdad at that time taught me a lot when it came to the value of a dollar. I remember there was a lot of incidences that I can bring up. You know, he showed me a phone bill. I remember I had to be even younger. I had to be like 8 or 9. He showed me a phone bill. He was like, "You see all these numbers?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "That's all the money that I have to contribute just to keep that phone on." And I remember seeing all the numbers. I was like, "Oh, wow." Even at an early age, I was kind of being told or being taught that value of a dollar. Now, I wasn't taught discipline or anything like that. He wasn't strict, but he would tell me like, "Yo, you're fucking up. You know, stop fucking up." Like if I was in school fucking up, he would pull me aside and say, "Stop fucking up." And it wasn't that it didn't help, because it did, because it was some form of male guidance to tell me, "Hey, stop doing this," you know, etc. It was just, you know, at that point, I was already a teen, so I was already doing some wild, stupid shit. I was already doing what I wanted to at that point. I was just fortunate. Like I said, I'm very fortunate to not get caught up in a lot of the bullshit that a lot of my peers and my friends were caught up in. I got a lot of friends, I got a lot of compadres, a lot of associates that I know who are no longer, you know, present. Not just present on earth, being deceased, but present in society, being incarcerated, due to, you know, that I guess that hood or that celebrity, that street celebrity status. I think Monster Cody said it best, where it's like niggas, like it's an extreme way of looking at it, but if you think about it, it's seen worldwide. It's like the killers and the drug dealers, they're the celebrities. Now, they're like known villains. They're glorified villains. They're treacherous people, but we celebrate treachery today, and we celebrate that idea of being a savage. So that savagery actually equals credibility, and that credibility boosts your street cred. So now if you out there in the neighborhood moving around, people know who the fuck you are. And if you known for being hot-headed, and if you known for not taking any BS, you're not going to have a lot of people, or you're not going to have a lot of opponents and opposition. But if you from an environment where you got a group of y'all niggas, and a group of y'all is thinking the same exact way, y'all dressing the same way, y'all functioning the same way, y'all moving the same way, y'all listening to the same music, y'all fucking the same type of bitches, y'all niggas are gangs. Y'all become an organization. In fact, you become a powerful organization. Even though the powerful organization is through misguidance, and I can say that honestly, I know people from both ends of the spectrum. I've been affiliated through that pipeline, you know, without getting too specific. So if you have a group of people now, like I said, a group of men who, from fatherless households, usually have mothers who don't feel that they have the time to really sit back and try and nurture and care for the child and be more considerate, knowing that she's in a situation to where that child is fatherless. And that is something that becomes more damaging long term. Now, is that always the case? No. I was able to get through it fine. I was never in handcuffs. It's not that I didn't do any wild shit, because I did wild shit. None of these things can be addressed without the possibility of incriminating myself. But you know, I've been in a lot of crazy wacky situations, you know what I'm saying? And I was blessed to make it out. And I wasn't really grateful for a lot of the progress that I made until recently, until I've actually seen and noticed, like, this is the results. Like, this is what I'm getting for the work and the effort that I put in. Just like with the podcast. Like I said, we was going to do a deep episode. We're going to do a deep episode because we still got a good amount of shit to talk about. But excluding all of everything that I just said and getting back to what I originally addressed, the fatherless households come in with the welfare system. So you can't say none of these things don't tie in together. Stop it. Common knowledge. The welfare system and all of these things were created to keep the black man. And a lot of these things work out as the canary in the coal mine. Shout out to Tommy Sotomayor, because he said it best, that black people will remain the canary in the coal mine. When they have a project or when they have something new that they want to do, a lot of these people will target blacks. That's a fact. They'll usually start in the lower income areas, right? So one of these projects that they did was the welfare system. And the welfare system, what it did, it reinforced the toxic, terrible behaviors and decisions that a lot of these bitches make, sleeping around, getting pregnant by random men, and giving them and facilitating them with all of the benefits and with all reward and high praises for being sluts. So these welfare queens, as Tommy Sotomayor would also say, by the way, support Tommy Sotomayor. I haven't really checked out, and it's crazy because I used to be in that sort of like, I don't know. Because like Tommy Sotomayor, in my opinion, if he's considered more in a line of, like, he could possibly be in the manosphere. I've heard a lot of stories about Kevin Samuels taking a lot of Tommy Sotomayor's shit from the past, and I wouldn't be surprised. I think, like I said before, I use terminologies and I use content and I talk about certain things, but I always address and give shout outs to the people I get it from. That's just something that I was raised in. It's beyond honesty. It's just being genuine. It's like, yo, you know, I gotten this from such and such. Or, you know, if you guys get a chance, check out such and such. That's just the type of person I am. And a lot of these people, it's not that I go on here to look for people like I did before, being in that echo chamber, looking for people who I just agree with 100%. I don't agree with Tommy Sotomayor 100%. I don't agree with a lot of these content creators 100%. And I don't think that's the importance of it. What's important is a lot of these men have something to address. And a lot of what we address is very important. And I think the more we take this seriously, the more I take this seriously, the more I can make this work out in a sense where this can be the place where, you know, and I've always had this thought. And like I said, this is going on fucking YouTube anyway, by the way, New Age traditionalism for the people who are hearing this. I'm going to be uploading this on both the podcast and YouTube just to try to get people on board. And I want to do something more exclusive where I kind of I set goals for myself, more or less. Where with the YouTube channel, I'm really aiming for a lot of participation within, especially these type of uploads where it's lengthy. It's gonna be lengthy as fuck. It's going to be a very long time that it's going to take for it to upload to YouTube, but I think it's going to be well worth it. And me going forward, I'm going to try to incorporate a lot of things that I talk about, but also keep it fresh, no pun intended, of course, for the New Age Traditionalism channel. And I really want to get the people involved. I really want to get those who are upcomers, the people who are trying to get things together themselves, the people who are trying to get their platform up, and really make a place for those people to get recognition, and for those people to speak their minds, and for those people to be direct. I'm looking to start a tribe myself, and we're taking it back to the patriarchal position that every man should have. It's not about leadership unless it comes to the moves you make. It's not about leadership amongst others. It's being able to control the moves you make and be able to take the necessary risk, and also know when to tone the fuck down and reach your boundaries where it's like, all right, let me slow things down. Let me assess the situation, right? Let me evaluate myself and surroundings before making further decisions. I think men have always been proven to be those who are superior within that when it comes to men and women, and here's why. Single motherhood is a choice that women make. Now, it may be unfair to a lot of these women, but it really isn't at the same time. Once again, we celebrate single motherhood, and that includes the beta male simps and manginas that will peek into your DMs. In all actuality, you are a failure. And I'm not saying that to be rude. I'm just saying that to be direct. Just like you would tell a guy who lives with his parents, you're a failure. I'm telling you, single mothers, you're also failures. Especially you single mothers that live with your parents. Now that says a lot. That says two things. Number one, our society is lopsided. I've said this from the beginning. Now, I said this before a long time ago that the shift was coming. And this shift wasn't just a shift politically. A lot of people may have thought that I meant politically, which I did mean that as well. And we saw a good amount of results. We saw a lot of the black conservative movement begin to take off. I call them hood conservatives. I consider myself more of a hood conservative myself. The reason being is I speak from a position that a lot of people will shun and shame upon, because like I said, I don't carry that banner of victimhood, and I don't carry that banner of dependence when it comes to government. Just allow me to earn the opportunities that I'm getting and allow me to flourish. If you want to look at race, I don't give a fuck. I'm cool with who I am. I'm cool with how I look. It's the perception of other people. And I think with Sigma males, it breaks down to that. So now, talking about Sigma males a little bit, but we're going to get into the welfare system. The family dynamic of which divides the welfare system ended after the black males were incarcerated, and after the black males have child support and have all of these fines with little to no interaction with the children. So even a man who is going along with the rules, paying the way that he's paying, the woman will most likely expect more. That's what it always is to certain women, more and more and more, and they bring less to the table. So the government just greenlights that, like, sure, you can do that, fine. So now these bitches can be out of pocket anytime that they want. They can minimize the interaction or completely take away the interaction with the child and father. Now, of course, she doesn't care. A lot of these selfish, bitter bitches, they're not thinking about the development of the child. Once again, New Age traditionalism, me, myself, I love children. That's just me being honest. Now, however a guy or however men feel about kids, that's up to them. I'm not going to judge either way. I don't have children, so I don't really feel bad either way. I just say I love children. I have nieces and nephews, and you know what I mean? I work in a school system, and I usually go in surrounded by kids. You know, mask or no mask, always constantly, hey, how you doing, whatever. You know what I mean? I like children. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I don't look at just the single mother dynamic as just a woman. Oh yeah, you're this and that. It's like, yo, the child, how is that child going to develop in this society? that promotes all of the negativity that you want to shield your child away from. And that's just the reality. The men who are not present, this was the beginning. So with the black men being incarcerated, and in a lot of cases Hispanic men, non-white men, let's just be honest, they were able to go, wow, you know, this is actually a cash grab. We're making money, but we're able to dish out these little handouts. Let's continue to make this happen. So the white communities and the country took in an effect from the welfare system when it comes to the tax, but it also divided, in a lot of cases, not in all cases, husband and wife, man and woman. So the lopsided aspect is the development of the child in this single mother environment. The crimes and everything else that goes along with it. I remember doing an episode a while ago, and I may have to reiterate it because I tend to do that a lot. I go back to old topics, but I always add something else, and I always go to articles, or I always go to the demographics, you know, going into the percentages and the statistics, because that's something that I've always been a fan of, just finding about something directly. Like, I want the direct source, I want the percentages, I want to know what's going on and how it's happening. And one of the things, like the single motherhood thing, like I said before, going back to that, it's the children that are being affected. I don't care about these single mothers. I've said this before. And I don't say that in a hateful manner, in the sense that I don't care about them directly. I just don't care about their struggle because they chose that struggle. It would be like if you never grew up in an environment that was surrounded in crime, to be somebody on the outside, to be somebody in a more suburban setting, to want to go to that environment and to experience that lifestyle just out of blatant curiosity or the possibility of popularity or street credit or just hood celebrity, street celebrity status, like I mentioned, that's idiotic. But you have that more and more, so you'll have, like, with today, everything's ass backwards. So, like, the gang culture is sort of, like, always been lopsided. And there's always tension, and I'll mention it only because it goes along with what I wanted to talk about with the patriarchy. This dominant but unorganized factions that started and originated in the West Coast. And in the West Coast, it was more structured and organized because it was more considered organic and homegrown. Once that spread it throughout the country, certain politics and certain rules and regulations weren't passed down directly from the OGs and those who originated these organizations. So what happens is you'll get a nigga that comes across, you know, certain information. He says, fuck it, we're going to start our own shit. Yeah, we this and that, we rolling with this and that, but we got our own shit. So the division starts from within. So now you have one group of niggas that's supposed to be one side, and you'll have one group or one complete side of that particular group who goes, well, we going it this way. We're gonna wear our colors like this. We're gonna talk like this. We're gonna hang out in this part of the neighborhood. And we better not see y'all niggas in this part of the neighborhood, or there's going to be some action. So that sort of powerful base of unorganized groups became more of a threat amongst one another than the true opposition being the system. The true opposition being these crooked, racist ass cops. The true opposition, which is usually the person that looks back at you in the mirror. But the welfare system created this divide and created this tension. Till this very day, some white people will think all black people must be on welfare. All black people must depend on the government. All black people must be lazy. All black people must not have jobs. They must just be sitting down getting a check. No. A lot of us is out here grinding. But it's that negative stereotype that has been placed among our people as blacks, it transcended, of course, into other communities. But of course, the blacks, being the canary in the coal mine, being the Tuskegee Airmen, or the Tuskegee Project. You guys know that, right? The chicken pox or whatever the fuck they was doing at that time. I know about that. There's a lot of other situations that could possibly be a reference to what I'm saying, but it's been known in history that when they want to release something or start something, they usually start in the lower black communities. And amongst those people, they believe that they are amongst the least educated, least civilized, least productive, least intelligent. But there's a lot of us. We don't fight to go against it. We're just who we are. A lot of our talents and a lot of our natural gifts and capabilities will be displayed whether we know it or not. And it's only a certain few who can actually point it out and go, wow, he knows what he's talking about, or he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? Or he has insight on certain things that a lot of people don't. But like I said, even if you go back into the gangs, right, to make this reference, you got a group of people who are well organized, right? Sufficient. They're strategic, going back to the military mindset. These niggas think alike, they move alike, but at the same time they move different amongst others around them. So you can point a couple of these niggas out when you move around. It's like certain niggas in gangs, certain niggas in those organizations. It's not just with the colors they wear, it's how they carry themselves. And if they're around others, you can kind of point it out. And like I said, this is just from being in a lot of those environments. You're just able to point it out from how they talk. You know, some of them dress the same. Some of them have, you know, different ways of communicating, really. And when you have a structured, powerful, organized group, it's a danger. It's a danger to society. So when these women start to look at these men who are making these moves, who are finally doing things themselves, they're going their own way, etc. Or at the very least, they're 23 to 27. And they're beginning to reevaluate the moves they're making and how they're making it. More importantly, in a lot of cases, who you making these moves with. It becomes a threat to the women. So now these women, they see the men doing their own thing. So now these niggas is becoming more organized. Now we out here putting out high quality information. Now we out here doing big things without the need or without the validation of a lot of these bitches. It becomes a threat. So what do these women do? Well, we have to stop them. How can we stop them when they feel the way that we feel? We'll cancel them. How do we cancel them? We'll report their channels. We'll report their videos. We'll get their shit taken down. We'll silence these men. But in the process of doing that, we're getting more organized. We're more structured. We have more goals. We're more determined than ever. Right? And this is only within the... I mean... You know, alpha males, of course, they're going to have that same mind that they're going to have that same mindset as well. But I'm aiming this towards the sigma males, because whether we're with a group of people or we're by ourselves, we have that same energy. We have that same presentation, and we have that same spirit. That spirit is something that's not made up. That spirit is organic. It's from within. It's something that God has given you, or science, or whatever the fuck you want to believe in. And that's where the game is at. It's not with these fucking bullshit, bum-ass PUAs telling you the same dumb one-liners to tell these dumb dizzy hoes. It's about you finding the strength, the power, the game, the development from within, the development from self. And that really involves understanding that we have been divided. We have been divided as a people. We have been divided throughout the race. We have been divided throughout gender. We have been pretty much a divide and conquer presentation. You can look at it the same with gangs. Shout out to all my niggas out there. It's the same with that. We have been set up in a strategy simply known as divide and conquer. But only those with the military strategy and only those who are really strategic and have that military mindset can see that. They can see the banana in the tailpipe. They can see the trickery and they can see the division taking place. And a lot of people like myself are beginning to speak up on it even more. Because it's not only about just uniting people and getting to an understanding or an overstanding as people of race, but it's also getting to that level of understanding and that level of overstanding when it comes to women. See, guys, or better yet, see women on the outskirts, they just look at us as a group of fools. We're just not able to get women, so we talk about them in a negative fashion. That's not true. I've been curbing bitches left and right for the past 2 months. That's not even the issue. It's just finding the women who are productive and the women who understand and overstand the struggles of the everyday male. Because we are taught to understand your struggles. We are taught to be more open to what you need to say. And we are taught this fascination in this fictional term, equality, from the modern day women, which is only the representation of feminism, which is only the dominance, and which only represents the destruction of men and the glorification of these foul-minded, foul-talking, unpresentable, disgraceful, despicable bitches that have single-handedly, along with the simps and manginas that pedestalize them, destroyed the dating market, destroyed the ideas of relationships, destroyed any possibility that a man would sign up for when it comes to marriage. Because the possibility of that woman deciding after she has the kid that you're just not doing enough, and she'd rather get the money from the government and you. So you can put that in consideration. Right? But, you know, we're getting ready to die things down. It's about 9:38 or 9:39 to be exact. Where are we at, man? 2 hours and 15 minutes. Pretty damn good. Pretty damn productive. But I'm going to go back real quick and kind of finish everything off the way that I want to do it. So this may go into 10 o'clock or at least 55 at the most. No one's going to love you more than you. It's one of the things you'll learn with self-development. I mentioned this when it comes to the idea of money. When it comes to the idea that a woman's love is conditional, the money you make is the consideration that the woman will have in that particular stage or emotional experience that she would call love. In the long run, if you lose that money, if you lose that job, 9 times out of 10, you lose the woman. No one's going to love you more than yourself, man. Now, I know that sounds corny, but that is something 100% true. So put that in consideration. And yo, you already know. Never put yourself in an echo chamber. What I mean by this directly is have conversations with different people. Understand other people's, try to understand somebody's tradition, or try to understand someone's values. Try to understand different people. Don't single yourself out and put yourself in one particular group or put yourself in one particular position to where you just represent a group of people you just identify with visually. Separatism is real. And I think separatism is something that's also being brought into black communities, right? Where I learned this growing up. I still do have a good amount of white friends. A lot of people I haven't really got a chance to reach out to, but it's one of those people that if you just walked into or you just ran into, you would have a conversation as if you guys were hanging out the day before. You guys catch up automatically, like one of those type of friendships. I had a lot of white friends like that, a lot of just non-black people or certain black people, but like I said, I was more open-minded, so I had a lot of non-black friends, and I would bring them around. I would bring them around my, my neighborhood and where I lived at, predominantly black, and it wasn't that they felt threatened; they just felt uncomfortable. And I understood and I overstood the differences in how one person can react to something entirely different because he himself or she herself is entirely different. In a lot of cases growing up, I used to go to a lot of different parts in Jersey where a lot of my friends live, and they would live in like damn near gated communities. And I was always taught that, these people that live in these communities are all the racist people. These are all the rich, these are all the rich white supremacists who see people like me and scowl and look the other way. And these were some of the nicest, most respectful, most understanding people that I've came across. And they look nothing like me. So I was, like I said, I mentioned this before, I was taught at an early age that the race and all that shit doesn't really matter to me. And I mean that all around. I'm not just saying that because I fuck white bitches. I'm just saying that because I have a lot of white friends and I've interacted with a lot of different people and came to an understanding and a lot of agreements and shared a lot of good times with these people regardless of how they look. Their characters stood out to me. And I think men have more of a introspective view when it comes to things like that. You can connect with somebody and know exactly why you connect. Most women don't understand this. I specifically said this before, pair bonding. What can a woman who fucks a bunch of men truly connect? Or how can a female who's been promiscuous for the past 5 years connect with a guy? What traits would get her out of that mindset of already being promiscuous? You see where I'm getting at? That's where the pair bonding comes in. And there's going to be a lot of that also incorporated. And what I wanted to talk about with the black community is we've lost our so-called leaders, or really we've lost the patriarchal man, the hardworking man. And I'm not saying that those men aren't out there. We're out there. We're just not fathers. And we're not fathers for a reason. You see? This goes back to the women being more accountable for their actions. In the same way that I'm accountable as a man. A lot of the fuck-ups I make, it didn't take me a long time to really come to that conclusion. It was just really coming to terms with it and being like, yeah, I fucked up. Now, I'm alive today. And God willing, I'm going to be alive tomorrow. And God willing, I'm going to be alive in the next 10 years. And I'll be able to make more progress and look back at those mistakes as learning experiences and as stepping stones to actually put myself in a better position. To me, that's kind of what I learned along the way. And especially with the self-development book that I'm writing, it's going to have more of those experiences hand-on without being too personal. What I mean is, I want it to be viewed and read by anyone or any man who comes across it. So by me mentioning specific things within race, I think that will kind of distort the entire message. But I do mention that when it comes to single motherhood and things like that within self-development, because my targeted audience is a lot of the men who are raised in single mother households, a lot of the young men, and giving them insight that is PG. I'm not going to get too graphic or too in detail. I'm not even going to use that much offensive language. I'll use things like problematic woman, modern woman. I'll use things like that instead of thought, hoe, skank, etc. Because I want it to be looked at as, okay, this person put time, effort, insight into what he's talking about. He doesn't need to curse 24/7. He can be productive. He can make valid points. But he's on a podcast where he's out of pocket. He's cussing. He's frying bitches. He's calling them out. He's doing what he's supposed to do. Stay on your purpose, man. Because you're all you have at the end of the day. Now, I'm trying to create a platform where us men can come together with insight and information and truly better one another and truly give each other the encouragement and the insight. Now, I know for a lot of guys, that sounds weird. A bunch of guys coming together. Yeah. We're in a tough... I mean, I never looked at it in this particular way until maybe 2 days ago, where it's like, wow, I'm in a tough environment when it comes to looking for or seeking qualified options or qualified or presentable women, productive women, intelligent, elegant, presentable, beautiful, not a hoe type of women. It's a battlefield. And a lot of guys who simply bowed out, ironically, they're the ones who are winning. They're the one. If you're making progress, if you are partaking in any form of self-development where you're making progress and you're doing these things without a woman and you find yourself in a better position, you find yourself making more money, and then ironically enough, not even looking, you find more bitches that trying to fuck with you just because you have the money and now you have the red pill awareness. You can curb these bitches, push these bitches aside, run through these women. Hey, we're in the world. We can't be good guys. This is what I'm saying. We can't be good guys. The war within, we will lose. The dark side will consume us, the darkness. And I don't mean the darkness as an evil. I mean just the dark nature. We will become that. We will have to adapt with this environment as men. Now, that may mean for a lot of guys, oh, I'm just going to come with a different approach. I'm going to come in and slay these bitches. A lot of these niggas are successful because they're determined. They have the awareness. Now, I tell these men to be safe because just because you have the insight, you can easily fall into the purple pill category because now you get soft, you get emotional around these bitches. They'll absorb that like a sponge and then bleed you dry, rinse your ass dry, throw your ass to the side, and go right on to the next guy. That's just how hypergamy and how the dating market today works. So you're either bettering yourself by getting more insight. I wouldn't call it game. It's really just insight. Because if that's the case, everybody has their methods of doing things, whether it works or not. It's considered game, right? Because PUAs do nothing but bullshit. And a lot of these PUAs bleeded into the red pill community and kind of, fucked it up. But I'm like the antibody, I'm like the anti-venom. I'm getting rid of all that shit, one episode at a time. You know what I'm saying? But we're wrapping this up. This is going to be a long one, a hefty one. This is going directly to YouTube, and this is being uploaded directly after I'm done to Spotify and Anchor. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I definitely enjoyed it. It's definitely been a fucking fun experience for me. It's not rare that I say that, but I genuinely mean that it's been a fun experience to be able to talk about the things that I wanted to talk about, be able to share the content creators that I listen to and support, whether it's Nola Girl 504 or it's Based Chris or it's other content creators within the Manosphere or people who's considered outsiders, because you got those guys out there. Nola Girl, she's a chameleon, she's married and she has a child. That's the whole reason. Y'all got to stop thirsting these women. But at the same time, she's married, so I'm gonna respect that. I'm not gonna say anything too out of line. And she has a child. I'd still smash, respectfully. She's still attractive to me, just like the other broad, Jennifer Molesky. She's 42. She got like the. That's who I wanted to compare her to. She has that. Is it Sarah Silverman? I hope I'm saying it right. Sarah Silverman, she has like that look to her. Sarah Silverman, she's like probably in her 40s. I'd smash the fuck. What are we talking about here? See, that's the problem. Is it because they're women and they're talking about valid information, or they're more productive, or they have a better way of presenting themselves? Because that's how most women are when they talk about this information. There's not a lot of bitches who's coming on here on some lopsided shit, because they know that the audience and the men who are listening, they're paying close attention to what they're talking about. And like myself, we're looking for consistency. Once I feel that these women are actually saying more valid points because they're women than the men who talk about it, then I'm going to support that side just as much as the men. You know what I mean? I think it's time for a lot of us to grow up. Find your purpose. Don't seek validation from women. Seek validation from progress. Seek validation for progress. Don't seek validation from women. But as I always say, in the meantime and in between time, Jersey Judah, Red Pill Party Podcast / New Age Traditionalism, signing off. We're going to let the audience wrap this up. And I'm going to head inside, finish my 8, and hit the gate as usual. Peace.